all you coin collectors out there, and welcome to DC Coin World International Coin Channel. Today we're going to take another look at the 1965 50-cent piece from Canada. And we've been asked by a couple of people to take an in-depth view of the back of the coin. And these are coins that were only made in Canada for 2 years, this particular coin, 1965 and 1966. Of course, in 1967, they went to the beautiful Canadian coin with the wolf on the back. They call it the Confederation coin. And there's a whole series of 1967 Confederation coins. But this particular one, 1965, 1966, it's a second portrait of Elizabeth II. That's why the 50-cent piece was changed in 1965 to put on the famous Arnold Machin second portrait where Queen Elizabeth is wearing the Girls of Great Britain and Ireland tiara. It says Elizabeth II, D.G. Regina, by the grace of God, Queen, and then this kind of pearled inner edge. We see that the rim is a segmented, or a reeded edge, reeded rim. And then on the back, this is what we got some requests for, is could we take an in-depth look at the back of this coin? And the back of this coin has a royal coat of arms of Canada. Now in 1965, there were 12.6 million of these made. And in 1966, there were 7.9 million of them made. So the 1966 is a little bit more valuable because there were less of them made. And this particular coat of arms is the coat of arms in 1921, King George V proclaimed that Canada should have a coat of arms, and then that was updated again in 1957, and this is the updated version. So let's take a look through it. At the very top of the coat of arms, we see the 19 is separated by a crown in the 65 on the other side. The crown here is St. Edward's crown, and it has been used in some coronations of monarchs. It's not the one that Queen Elizabeth used, but it is has been used. It says Canada on this side, 50 cents on this side, 50. And underneath that crown, we see that there is a crest, which is a very kind of cool crest. And I'm not sure if we can blow it up enough so you can see it. It's a lion holding a maple leaf. So this lion here is holding a maple leaf, which this whole coat of arms is very, very Canadian oriented. Down here we see the British flag. Over here we see the fleur-de-lis, which is a representative of the French flag. So we have Canada, which is both British and French. As we work our way down, we see essentially what's called a royal helmet here, and that is a gold and with white and red. If you actually see this coat of arms, you'll see that the center is gold, and then there's these white and red leaves that come off of it. Now, of course, they can't do the white, or don't do the white and red on the coins, but they're essentially these maple leaves that come off the side. As we get a little further down, we see that there is a shield here. And if we look at the shield, we see that on this side here, we have the lions passant, or lying down. There's 3 of them, and they represent Britain. On this side, we see a lion rampant, or standing up, which represents Scotland. Down here, we see a harp, representing Ireland or Northern Ireland. And over here, we see, again, the fleur-de-lis of France. Now, what they added was, down at the bottom, 3 maple leaves, or a sprig of maple leaves, to make this, and they're red maples, to make this Canadian. And I've been told by experts that maple leaves don't come in these 3 or tri varieties generally, but they wanted to make it symbolic, so they did it this way. Now, if we go a little further down, we see that it says there is a motto that goes across here, and what this motto says, it's the motto of Canada, and it says from sea to sea, or a mare usque ad mare, which is Latin from sea to sea. So Canada does go, of course, from sea to sea, from New Brunswick or Nova Scotia, Newfoundland, all the way to Vancouver in the west. On this side, we see a horse holding um, up the crown in an escutcheon here. And on this side, we see a unicorn, and that's the Scottish unicorn. Um, and if you look at it on the actual, like if you see it on a flag or something, you'll see that it has golden hooves, golden horn, golden mane, and around its neck, it has a coronet of crosses going around its neck. And then finally, down at the very bottom, we see this kind of floral down here, and that's called a compartment. Um, and the compartment is essentially floral emblems from the nations which founded Canada. And so, what if we look down here, we see that there are a Tudor rose. So this is the rose here of England and Wales. And then there's the white rose of York, the red rose of Lancaster, a thistle and a shamrock for Scotland and Ireland, and a fleur de lis from France. So going across here, if you can get really down in there, you can see that there's a thistle. See the thistle up there? See the shamrock here? See the fleur de lis there, and they're on both sides. And that represents all the countries who kind of led to the founding. Now, of course, we don't have any First Nations information on this coin because in 1965 it just wasn't recognized as such. And those changes have come much later for both for Canada and for the United States. All right, so that's our 1965 50 cents coin from Canada. We love having our Canadian viewers, and if you have any more requests from Canada or people who love Canadian coins, just put them in the comment section and we'll give them a shot. Thanks again from DC Coin World International Coin Channel.